What's up, everybody? Well, I got into the Asus Ally gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're fulfilling another request. We're going to do Crisis Core. So, pretty much the plan is, we're going to see if it runs at 1080p, and if it does, we'll just get some gameplay. And if not, then we'll tone the settings down, just go through the whole rigmarole. Go through all the settings through 1080p, and then we'll drop it to 720 and do the same. And then do my settings as usual as well. So, without wasting any more time, let's go hop on into the game and check out some settings. Well, alright guys, let's go through the settings real fast here. Now this one's a pretty easy game. It's only got 3 graphics options really, so, and we're gonna leave that on since this thing can only go up to 120 anyway, so I don't think that'll really get in the way. Especially not 1080p. I do not think 1080p is probably gonna play too nice, at least unless you're okay with a 30 FPS to 40 FPS experience, but only one way to find out. Here we go. We're at 1080p on high. And unfortunately, no 60 FPS.
Activating combat mode.
We seem to be more around the 40s to 50s. Yeah, more like 40s once we start fighting. Ooh, it even drops down into the 30s, but I think that's just what's going to happen at 1080p. There's going to be certain instances where it's just going to drop under 40 into the 30s. So you could honestly probably just lock it at 30 and never have drops, but I think I'm going to try going for 40. Because even I'd rather have 40 with it dropping down to 35 than to just have it be 30. Don't get me wrong, I'd prefer a locked 40 or 45, but I definitely like 60 more than anything, but sometimes you can want and like all you want. It doesn't do any good. This thing just doesn't quite have the horsepower. Especially because right now it's got some weird bullshit going on with its BIOS.
楽勝楽勝これはファーストも近いね
This was a damn fun game though. I definitely got my fill. I'll probably replay it again eventually, but I've got so many other games on the backlog, and there's new games always coming out too, so it's hard to go back and play games you've already beat, you know? Ah, it's Behemoth time. But before that, let's go and move on and change the settings up. Now, let's do medium, preset at 1080p. Still have the frame rate capped at 120 because that's as high as it goes in here, so that's why I have the vertical, or the VSync on. Vertical synchronization, to be exact. It's interesting how they capitalize the V of vertical, but not the synchronization. Anyway, let us now go ahead and get into the game now. Here is medium. Graphics preset now. 1080p. No, honestly, that didn't really seem to help. If anything, that made it worse. Because before we were like in the 40s. Yep, I think this is going to be one of those games where we're going to have to make do with 720p if we want a 60 FPS experience. But that's okay. When you're playing just on this system itself, a small little screen like that, 720p is plenty. Don't get me wrong, the 1080p is definitely a small little upgrade. I can definitely tell a difference, but not a huge difference. No difference worth dropping all these frames for and not getting an FPS or a 60 FPS experience anyway. But that's the cool part about this thing. Everybody's got their choice. If you don't care about FPS and you just want like the crispiest picture you can get and you're all right with it only being like 30, 40 FPS, well, bam, just play this game on high and lock the FPS. This thing does have a built-in FPS limiter after all. You can just lock it at something and bam, you're ready to go. I think you can lock it at 30, 45, 60, and then obviously unlock it to 120. So those are your options, I do believe. All right, now this time we'll fight the Behemoth a little. We got past those other guys way quicker this time. That'll definitely be a little bit longer of a scene this time, but this game doesn't have as many options to do as Battlefield, so I can have a little bit longer clips, I think. All right. I can use items. Yep, I know. I'm not that injured yet. Take that. There we go. Now we'll heal a little. Although, I got damaged again like right away. Probably shouldn't heal right when you're next to the fucking enemy, right? Alright. Octaslash. Well, let's do low at 1080p now and see if we can't quite hit that 60 FPS mark now. I doubt it. I think 1080p is just a little bit too much for this system, for this game. Hopefully, the new BIOS will fix this. Once they come out with a new one, I'll come retest all these games, and hopefully everything will be good. Here we go. Low graphic settings now. So let's just play a little bit here. And to be perfectly honest, yet again, we still seem to be stuck at right around the 40s. Although this time there is a difference. We're at closer to 50 FPS now, so there's at least a difference now. But unfortunately, it's not enough. We cannot quite hit that 60 FPS mark. In fact, we're still stuck in the 40s, it seems. And that's why you'll see why I picked the settings I picked. If we're going to get the same FPS no matter what anyway, we might as well get some decent graphics at the same time, right? You got it. Uh-oh, Misty's here. I think she wants to try to attack me and play again. She does this a lot when I try to do voiceovers. Only then, though. I can talk all I want, unless I'm doing voiceovers, but when I do voiceovers, she bites. I wonder what's up with that. Is it because I'm not paying attention to you? Well, I can give you pets. I can give you pets and talk at the same time. That's no big deal. Because I can still keep an eye on what's going on the screen, too. Alright. Let's fight this motherfucker again. But this time, with a cat on my lap. Oh, never mind. Cat has aborted the mission. How could you? Oh well, she probably knows I'm just watching a video of myself play anyway. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? You don't have a controller in your hands. You're not doing dick. Again, well, I don't know why I tried to use potions that close to that bastard. Well, at least I dodged that. Now we've got Endure. Alright, let's just finish this guy off real quick. And now that we've done that, let's go move on. Well, now before moving on to 720p, let's just check out my settings here at 1080p. So since we were basically stuck around 30 to 40 FPS anyway, I figure, well, we might as well try to make it look good, but at least not try to make it get too much bad FPS. So that's why I killed anti-aliasing shadow quality. Anyway, though, let's get into the game. Here we go with my settings at 1080p. And still, just like we were getting before, 30, 40 FPS, so might as well have it look decent, right? Take that.
Conflict resolved.
Huh, and you know what? I never had my after dinner hit. So I think I will now. It's just a cutscene anyway. Besides, I'm just doing voiceovers for gameplay I already recorded, so. Man, I'm gonna be sad when all this black ice is gone. This was some pretty good strain. Alright, let's fight this behemoth again.
Activating combat mode.
Hey, I leveled up with Undaga. How nice. Chain slash, not Omni slash this time. And it was not enough to kill him either, so we'll have to finish him off ourselves. Well, I say that like we're not the ones who just did the limit break, but we'll have to just do it without limit breaks.
Conflict resolved.
Alright, time to move on.
Activating combat mode.
Well, alright, guys. Let's go and get ourselves a little camera gameplay now. Why is everybody always shooting me? Hey, I already know.
Conflict resolved.
Damn straight the conflict is resolved.
楽勝楽勝これはファーストも近いね
塔の奥の上り階段から広場に向かえ
了解
Alright, let's go fight that behemoth a little bit. Alright, here he is.
Activating combat.
Oh, I'm always too fast for that. I already know what to do. The game doesn't know that, though. Oh, I thought I could dodge that. he got me again. Alright. Alright.
Conflict
And
resolved.
we have defeated him. Hell yeah. And now we can go and try 720p out. Moving on to 720p, so let's just try high again. Hopefully it'll work out a little better this time, but only way for us to find out is to jump into the game, so let's jump in now. Here we are at the beginning here, and we're just gonna play with the game basically on high, maxed out. And it seems like it can pretty much hit 60 almost all the time. There was one little point where it dropped down to 57, but that might have just been while the thing was situating. A lot of the times this thing will not even get full FPS for a couple seconds once you get into a game. It takes it a little while. I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something. But as you can see, now we're hitting 60 the whole time. We're still doing the same moves we were doing. So, I think this would probably be a good way to just play the game.
まずだな。
楽勝楽勝。これはファーストも近いね。
ホーム奥の上り階段から広場に
And I think I figured out what's going on. I think it does do 120 FPS, but since we've got it hooked up to my capture card, it's linking it to that thing 60 hertz. So that's what's going on. That's interesting. During those scenes, for a second, it forgets about it and is like, well, I want to be 180. And it's like, no, you can't do that. So we'll see if I'm right on the camera recorded portions. Obviously, 1080p will be impossible to tell because that one can't even hit 60. But hopefully, at 720p here maxed out during that camera gameplay, we'll see if it hits 120 or what it
Activating
hits.
combat mode.
No AP cost. Well, that sounds fun. But at the same time, I almost don't even need any of that shit to beat this guy. Oh well. I wasted the no AP cost anyway. I could have done that assault twister a bunch. Oh well. I don't think I really need it anyway. Oh, you hit me? I didn't think you could get me from all the way back there with that thing. Whoa! Limit break. Oh, alright, well. Let's hit him a few more times here. And then try to finish him off with our limit break. Alright, probably still not enough, but let's see. Nope, not quite.
Conflict resolved.
We almost had him, though. Anyway, though, why don't we move on now? Alright, guys. Let's get ourselves our camera recorded gameplay here at 720p. Lost my train of thought there as I was slashing the enemies.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah, record time.
まずだな。
楽勝楽勝。これはファーストも近いね。
ホーム奥の上り階段から広場に向かえ。
So it can't quite stay at 120 the whole time, but I still think this is absolutely fine. I don't think we needed to go through all the settings at 720p. And I had a feeling the FPS was being limited by my capture card to 60, even though I put it up to 120. But now that we're back on this thing, it lets it go all the way up to 120 again, which is what I was expecting it to do before, but it wasn't really a problem at, whatchamacallit, 1080p. We didn't get anywhere close to 60, really. Well, we got close. I think we got 55 once, but it wasn't exactly an action-packed scene.
Activating combat mode.
Let's kick ourselves some behemoth ass. Literally. Oh, I was hoping I could dodge after that. Bastard. But yeah, this still looks absolutely great at 720p. And me personally, I'd rather have the good FPS, but that's just me. Alright, let's see if we can finish it off with the Omni Slash this time. Hell yeah, we could.
敵に後ろを見せるとはよほどの自信家か愚か者だ。
But, in any case, I think that's plenty of camera recorded gameplay. So, now, let's go wrap this video on up. Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. And as usual with the newer games, we couldn't quite handle it at 60 FPS at 1080p, but for those of you who are okay with a 30 to 40 FPS experience, it was absolutely fine. And I'm kind of used to that from my Steam Deck anyway, only I couldn't have it up at those kind of settings with my Steam Deck. I'd have to turn it down if I was at 1080p, I mean. At 720p, I was getting about those kind of FPS, I think, if I remember the video correctly. But when we turned this thing down to 720p, we were getting 60 FPS the whole time on the capture speed, and then when we relinquished the FPS, we were getting into the 120s even sometimes, but mostly in the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It didn't really know what it wanted to do, but with the variable refresh rate display, it doesn't even really matter. It felt smooth as butter. But in any case, that is all I got for you guys for this particular video. Hopefully this is good enough for the guy who requested it, and until the next video, peace out, guys.